Snake, now LNG, have qualified. And that was our second last series. We're now heading into our final series of the summer split. And that is Top Esports and FunPlus Phoenix. Our first and second place teams have gone this long without meeting each other in the regular season, Raz.
Look, and if, I don't feel like we can get pinned for being biased this time around. Because we have two Top Esports! It's TES Day, by the way. The entire damn stage is biased for Top Esports. But yeah, we have our top two teams going up against each other. Right now, flatly ranked 1, FPX, going up our ranked 2 team right now in Top Esports. And oh my God!
Is so cute.
Just so you know, his wife made that. His wife made that for him.
That's
Put it up on
gorgeous.
social, so that's actually really cute. So nice. Of course, he won himself that.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to win this set for pride.
A lot of pride on the line, that's right. First and second place heading into the Rift. I'm Mysterix, this is Raz. And we've waited a while for this set, this best of 3 that I know a lot of people out there could start thinking that this could be the potential finals coming into summer.
Yeah, I think this is the toughest LPL playoffs to really guess who makes finals. Because all of the old guards that have the veteranship, the experience, and you have the faith will make it to the finals are in the worst position to be in. Like Invictus Gaming being able to squeak into playoffs. And then, of course, you see RNG that has their top lane woes. And then you have all of the no-name brands that are currently just striving right now.
So difficult.
So this is the updated bracket that you see for yourself. FPX and Top Esports, the top 2 teams right now in the regular season, that you're right, are outright favorites to make the finals. But the problem is that they were in the 3rd and 4th place matchups in the spring split. So if we're just talking about which team that we expect in the first round or second round to make that run, you would certainly have faith in your world champions, your LPL spring final champions as well, in Invictus Gaming to start that. So remember, IG's run is going up against LNG. Then maybe if LNG or whoever wins in that first round goes up against RNG. And then you go up against Top Esports.
Yeah.
That's a hellacious run if you're expecting the veteran teams to play up in those situations.
So you're right, we don't know who's going to be ending up in that final, but it is going to be an epic proportion of events. There is no way we don't get to a final that is very exciting.
The issue is, and this is just for you people out there, it would be the greatest upset in my eyes if FPX doesn't make the finals.
I agree.
In Spring Split, they should have made the finals. There were 2 situations where they had great leads in Game 4, Game 5 against JDG. And then, it felt like the nerves hit them. A lot of situations happened where they ended up losing those crucial fights, lost that chance. Now you're looking towards this split. They're number 1 again in the season, and you would think that they would make that run. They just won best of 5 away from being able to find themselves in the finals. So there's a lot riding, of course, not in this series, but just based off of their playoff performances. The top 2 teams right now that are slated in the playoffs in Top Esports and FPX are kind of known for playing down in those situations.
Yeah.
So I want to see if FPX can really, own up to it and get over that hurdle, or if Top Esports can do the same, because it's not like Knight is consistent. Knight is the best player in those situations. It's the members around him that tend to fail.
And we want to see the best of them coming out. This is why this series is so important, because we get to see what kind of Top Esports and what kind of FPX we get towards playoffs as we look towards in our 3rd place
Remember,
match.
this was a 3rd place match in the spring split. Those 2 teams went up against each other. Now, even though this was a fight that was won by FPX, this was the game that was won by Top Esports. They took game 1 in a decisive fashion around Knight, and then the rest of the series actually started to go in FPX's favor. They were just dominating in mid lane, were able to come in the bot side, and were very clean with their bot side dives. This is just pure FPX team fight pressure that they were able to throw in against most teams. And so it's funny, honestly, that if we're looking to both of these teams, they both have incredibly strong mechanical, top laners, AD carries. That's not the question. It's more so FPX has the better team fighters. Top Esports are definitely the team that wants to be able to get their advantages and split up. So it's going to be fun to see how much Top Esports has gotten better as a team. Because at that stage, a lot of questions were flying towards XX and 369, because when pressure started to mount on them, they played the worst when they went up against Invictus Gaming in the semifinals. And then when they went up against FPX, as you saw in the third place match, those are the same members that actually played poorly in that situation. They had to bring in Moyu during that time as well.
Sure.
I just want to see 369 play, because 369 in the regular season is a boss.
The playoffs.
That's the question.
Different question.
That's why experience matters here for a rookie player.
Exactly right. But we're coming into this matchup with our heads held high, because we talk about placements already being secured, but 369 GimGoon, that's exciting to me. But everyone's looking towards that mid lane matchup, Raz, because Doinb versus Knight, we get this again. Thank you to whoever sorted this out.
This is what I want to see, and the champion that should probably stick out to you like a sore thumb is the Pantheon. Doinb is bringing it back.
Yeah.
And the last few series, he's been playing Pantheon again and again. And remember, in playoffs, this is going to be the pre-change on Pantheon. We're still going to be seeing old Pantheon, probably for the last time, running through playoffs. Going to Worlds, I don't know if we'll see the new Pantheon, but I will say old Pantheon is still that new stuff coming in from Doinb.
Yeah, it's great. He's picked it up twice. Remember, he played it in Rift Rivals as well. That was kind of the international debut. Against Griffin, if I'm not mistaken. So
yep, was able to come up with a big win. I thought it was a very smart composition to throw yourself in there as well. And then the other point too is that the rest of the LPL teams tried to copycat it, weren't successful. Doinb goes back on the pick and makes it work just as well. So going through top esports team, 369 in the top lane, XX in the jungle. You look towards, of course, Knight in the mid lane, and rounding out the bottom side of the map, it's LokeN and Ben.
It's Top Appreciation Day to finish off the split, so I think they're going to throw something, or someone's going to need to catch.
Oh, don't throw the shoe. That's going to hurt. By the way, Top Esports, or at least TOP, is, a reseller for sports.
Yeah.
So you can just, they have a lot of nice sneakers. Thank the Lord you didn't throw the sneaker in the crowd. It's not like you can actually make use of it too, because you didn't even bring the full pair. You just brought that one shoe.
Just signed one. That's called a shelf shoe, Raz.
Who throws a shoe, really?
I'm sorry. Well, Top are getting their own form of appreciation. Now, if you haven't been tuning in for our Sooning Appreciation Day, I think we got a Vici one at one point as well. We go through and the crowd gets a nice bit of interaction with the team.
So, of course, for the Top Esports, remember, for the Top Esports, it's Top Day. They're going to have a random draw for the crowd. And the victor, whoever ends up winning, will win that Nike branded shoe. It's a damn good shoe. I hope they get the pair. Which seat?
B, 10.
All right, who is it?
24A, okay.
Let's see. I'm not going to be excited until I see the damn person standing up, so you need to calm down. Throw the shoe at them. Don't let them come on the stage.
You're right. We need a pair. Why is there only one? That is a cool...
Knight doesn't seem too happy about just holding the one shoe.
Maybe it's his. Maybe if we look down, the camera pans down, he's only got one shoe.
He just needs to stop sneaking in the shoe.
It's like, what do you want me to up?
Yeah, there we go. Hold the shoe up! Oh, no, it's actually not the fan. Yeah, they're bringing the shoe to the fan. Well, if I was the fan, I would walk to the stage. I don't need anyone escorting me.
Maybe it was their shoe. They're just giving it back to the owner. That's why they can't walk to the stage. They're literally just finding the owner of that other half of the shoe is. FPX are not bringing in footwear this time around. We got GimGoon in the top lane, Tain in the jungle, Doinb mid, LWX and Crisp in the bottom lane with Warhorse coming onto the stage.
And so it's going to be fun to talk about FPX a little bit. I know it's a top day in the crowd, but I have a little bit of a suspicion that FPX is going to be a little bit happier by the end of the series. But first of all, we're going to be seeing an interview. I wonder, it's going to be 369 that we're going to be hearing from.
我们和 FunPlus 这个收官战，虽然我们已经进了季后赛，但是还是想从他们身上啃下一波。我觉得 FunPlus 最近状态拉满，最近每个人都很状态火热。然后我觉得GimGoon挺猛的，GimGoon现在很强。然后我的话就跟他操作一下。
接下来对阵滔博的话，他们的中单 Knight 就跟我是比较好的朋友们。然后他最近拿的 MVP 有点多，然后我希望打他的时候我们要努力，就不让他拿到 MVP， 把 MVP 留到我们队伍，这样我们就能这2019年常规赛 MVP 了。
I love the fact that he pointed out that that he was good friends with Knight, because as a reminder, they're former teammates on Young Miracles. They were played alongside each other, and then they started their LPL career together on Suning. Of course, both of them ending up finding their own ways. Knight ends up finding his way on towards top esports. And then, thankfully for Tain, because I was worried that he was going to find himself out of the league, finding himself on the bench for Suning. He comes over to FPX and was number 2 in MVPs. Actually, I think number 3. Number 3 in MVP voting for the first split. So it's pretty damn nice to be able to see that. And speaking of MVP voting, you would expect Doinb and Knight to be in that same situation. So with Knight being able to take down Xiaohu in the fashion that he did, and then going up against, of course, Doinb, I wonder whoever comes out as victor, how much that matters in the MVP voting.
Yeah, a bit of rivalry coming through, and this is the rivalry between teams. I'm glad we're getting a look at this. First and second best teams, not only in name, also the stats tell the story too.
Champion kills a minute. So just right out that one alone, FPX fight a lot. Top Esports, this is really interesting because for a team that is, let's just break this down, as fast of a game that they have the fastest game of the split, they're usually one of the fastest teams. They tend to set up a lot more plays. Going back to the point that I made, that Top Esports try to split push a lot more frequently, isolate and allow that 1v1 to be secured by Knight or 369 on side lanes, and then force that one big fight when they have all the gold lead. While FPX just start pounding the goddamn guys and head into the platform or something.
From minute 1, it feels like sometimes. So
FPX fights a lot, they team fight a lot, they group up as much as possible. Well, as I've mentioned, Top Esports try and avoid that.
That's why you can see this average win time, not game time, but win time there is the comparison. As we go even closer in on the matchup. This is what it's all about. Doinb versus Knight, and straight away my eyes go to that KDA, which is just so clean for both Knight and Doinb.
Ah, yeah, the KDA players. I mean, there's not a lot of dying when you're just successful regardless.
That's true.
Gold difference at 15 is one that I go towards a little bit more. So higher gold difference at 15 for Knight. Knight's a special case. What I said earlier is there's a reason why he's number 1 in the league for that. When he has his own leads early on, the rest of the team, XX tends to just consistently gangster him on side lanes. So 10-minute onwards, when Knight finds himself on a side lane situation, XX is camping for him. And that's what's really fun to have that discussion, is because when Top Esports played in Rift Rivals, they had XX just camp for 369, do the same things for, of course, their mid laner as well. They try to just hard push an advantage on the map and then sacrifice LokeN and Ben and just tell them to play as safely as possible. Sometimes it works fantastically and they get themselves some very quick victories, and other times when they're going up against teams like RNG or Invictus Gaming, just basically veteran lined up teams, that those teams tend to play a slower game, have a top laner that plays incredibly safe, or of course they can just try and match that situation and they come up better. So I think Top Esports needs to evolve as a team if they want to take up the veteran lineup teams.
Because we're talking about priorities and how Knight can play through the gold. Remember that this is a mid laner that has 31% of the damage share, more than any other team, including FPX. The bottom side left on an island at times, but then you compare them with FPX going into this series, and they love the bottom lane, Raz. So you're right, adaptation needs to be at the core of it. And coming into our final series of the split, I can't wait to see what we get out of Top and FPX.
All right, eyes on both these players. Let's see what we get in the pick and ban. I just want to see if the Pantheon is in play here.
Will it be taken away? Is it worth your time? FPX on blue, Top Esports red. Both these teams love that red side. Never so relevant coming into game 1.
Now, a lot of the times for both these teams, I'll say specifically for Doinb and his teams, they tend to use these times to experiment, They're not going to show their hand before playoffs. They want to just kind of see if they can play a talent in their composition, or maybe go back to the Pantheon and be a little bit more confident on it. We won't see the best of these teams. You're certainly going to be seeing a really fun game, though.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that because there's a lot of cards on the table. The Silas was banned, Tian's Elise, which has been prioritizing recently. The Tarm Kench, if they want to play a safer bottom side here for Chris, but Raz, you love Sejuani, the world loves Sejuani. Maybe FPX do too.
Thank God Sejuani is being first picked. Now, it's not even like, if you look towards the bans here, there have been so many jungle bans. 5 of the 6, champions banned are junglers.
Yeah.
So Sejuani being locked in is not a surprise. but I want to see what XX is willing to pick up against it, because last split he was willing to go towards, you know, the... I like the Trundle pickup,
Okay.
but I was thinking Kane was the pick that he would go up against it.
Because this is not your Karthus jungler. This is not someone who's going to sit back and, you know, pick up that champion here against FPX. I guess we have to wait and see if it will be that Trundle coming up later.
Lulu and Lucian, or at least the, you know, Yuumi and Lucian, bot side of the map, going to be incredibly safe for themselves and can actually turn it on a dime on LWX and Crisp as well. So they got a pretty strong blind pickable bot lane going up against them. I want to see what LWX and Crisp are willing to pick up to deal with that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Just lock it in.
Aurelia with Sejuani. Again, I compliment you, Raz. The matchup feels so good. And then you have the Aatrox to go with it.
I have never been happier. With how many pick and bans, I would just say, please just lock in Aurelia, Aatrox, combined with the Sejuani. That's just the first thing FPX just goes and darts towards. Now, I'm expecting this to be an Aatrox there for Doinb.
Yep.
Not the Aurelia. He's not known for being the Aurelia player. GimGoon is. So that's going to be a fun lock-in. Now, with the Trundle being locked in for XX, you would expect GimGoon to kind of make some adjustments in the Aftershock department. Don't go Aftershock.
Okay.
Don't want to be giving away too many free stats. We'll talk about it when we get in the game.
Okay, now we go to bottom lane though, Raz, at least for FPX. Solo lane still to be picked up by top esports, and with the priority around them, you can see the bans coming out. The Kai'Sa a no-brainer against LWX. But remember that in the past, LWX and Crisp have been this Caitlyn Lux bottom lane. Caitlyn Morgana doesn't feel out of the wheelhouse. They are able to exert pressure, and that's why the Nautilus being banned away from Crisp is a very smart move by top.
I just want to see what FPX is willing to lock down here for the bot side of the map. I would say a pretty good pickup would be the Volibear. I mean, Volibear works pretty damn well into the Yuumi. I wonder what the 80 carry would be. I'm thinking maybe Varus would be strong alongside it. It would also add in another element of utility that would, you know, FPX would love to have here in the lineup. So we'll see. We have to see the full composition for FPX here now.
Remember that LWX, not really a Lucian player down here, plays a lot of, not an Ezreal player, so they does play a lot of the Lucian as an AD carry. What are FPX going to opt into is they see the Vladimir. Very easy to build up that Executioner's Calling.
Oh, they can actually find themselves with an AP in the bot side of the map.
Okay.
Just knowing that they have, maybe even lock in a Swain as well, go for a kill lane. This is a bottom lane.
This is definitely a bottom lane, so that's Sejuani to support?
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be a Sejuani support, so that's a kill lane there with how much utility Sejuani and Mordekaiser have.
You called this. You said they're not showing their cards. They're going to come into this one having a bit of fun.
We're experimenting, baby.
That is experimentation at its core for FPX.
I think top esports are trying a little too hard, actually.
They're like, give Knight Zoe. Okay.
Give him the best pick. Have LokeN, have his Lucian. So, like, top esports are coming into this game, you know,
Smite
jabbed up. This could be an Aurelia bot side, too. We'll have to see when we get to the 20-second mark.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser coming back into the meta is a really fun one because we also saw, I think it was a few days back, Mordekaiser in the bot side of the map with, I believe it was the Swain.
Okay.
My memory is pretty bad. But at the end of the day, now FPX looks like they're going to be locking in the Aurelia there for LWX.
Is Doinb going to make his jungle debut?
Oh my god.
Scorpion on Doinb. Oh my lord.
Swap it, please.
Does
They ain't
that
swapping
no?
it. They ain't swapping.
The man who plays everything just added another one onto the list.
All right. Doinb with his jungle debut. We take those. LokeN is laughing his ass off right now.
As you would. How do you play into this? Tain's like, you know what? Let me play a lane, please.
He's
Just
played
get me in
enough.
there.
He's played top lane champions. He's played support champions. Now he's played a jungle champion with Smite.
Yeah.
I just want to see a Skarner mid lane. I know we're not going to get that. That's a dumb thing to hope for. But just give it to me. Europe is getting all the fun with G2 trolling out. We need to have FPX having a fun time, knowing that they've locked in first place.
People keep talking about FPX being the team that, you know, would resonate closest with G2, just with the champion pool on offer. This gives you that little bit of a slice coming into game one, you have a Skarner on Doinb with Smite. Tain opts into a lane, and then you have an Aurelia Sejuani. We talked about how great the 2v2 was, but little did I know it would be heading in together.
You know how fun it has to be for Doinb to finally be the one ganking lanes? How many times we've sent multiple members down mid lane to get a kill on a Doinb,
Yep.
and now he can just deliver back that pain.
Give your friend the same love that he's given you over the split. A great way to come into our very last series of the LPL summer. It's first versus second, but not as you know it with FPX and Top Esports. That was loud.
That was, that's when you get the full crowd combining together.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we have it.
All right, Raz.
Okay.
Break down the game.
Thank you. That's definitely how you want to start. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't feel too concerned for Doinb. He's the one playing a champion with no hands. You know? Playing Skarner as a jungler, I'm completely fine with that. It's Tain that's being tested as a laner now. Going up against Knight as a tough one.
Yeah,
But
actually.
who knows Knight better than his former teammate in Tain?
That makes sense. He wanted
know
to
how
go
he
into
lanes.
his friend.
I know how he lanes. I know how he thinks.
The friendly rivalry. No, wrong POV stream this game. I know we're seeing Mordekaiser back in action, but I think Doinb was your hot ticket. Oh yeah, good dodge.
We just need a purely mid lane stream. Or you can just have a Skarner stream.
Yeah, either
And
one works, right?
They both are completely fine. Reciprocate. You have emotes too. Wow.
care.
Now
Knight
you're just
doesn't
going to have
care.
to damage him.
Yeah, he's in the zone.
All right.
So a lot of questions about how Tain can lane, being his first time playing mid lane here in 2019. But bottom lane as well is interesting from FPX. Naturally, they're going to get shoved with the Sejuani Aurelia against the Lucian Yuumi.
But yeah, these lanes are super safe here for FPX. You know, bot side's not getting traded in heavily at all, and they're in a pretty decent spot. Mid lane may change soon, but he's not going to get poked underneath tower. You don't want to get tower shots. So Skarner is really safe to just go for a full clear here. Go for a base and get his boots. His top side, I think, needs a little bit of help, knowing that Mordekaiser is going to be shoving in consistently. I would want him to just kind of hover over the lane. Thankfully, he's in position to do that now when he gets Scuttle Crab. And then the lane to gank here for Doinb would be the bottom lane.
Ah.
So what's worse? You know, when we were thinking about this, when we were talking about Sejuani and Aurelia 2v2 mid lane matchup, but then you put him in the bot side of the map and you have a Skarner ganking for you, that's just a hell situation for LokeN and Ben to deal with. So I can see that happening, and I expect Skarner to be going bot side after his clear.
Is towards the top side, you're right, just clearing out that scuttle. And should be a quick back here for the Skarner that hasn't gone for the early Predator back. Doinb will make that trip now, but where are you going?
All right.
Raptors, okay.
Let's get some nice tasty chickens.
Very cheeky, man. Knight actually in a lot of trouble now, wow.
Damage still goes
Mid-air.
through.
Yeah, for some reason.
You thought it was the sword that was dealing the damage.
that
It
was
was
like
his eyes.
Like a jet aeroplane. You know, the sound came after the visuals, so. But Tain, great trade against Knight.
Yeah, pretty comfortable position here. Good help in push here for XX to give Knight a base off. And then he comes to his chickens and realizes it's already gone.
I'll just back it up. The nick of time for Doinb is, wow, that's a flash on in from Chris and LWX. LokeN has to burn his flash and the heal. Thumbs up as LWX asserts his dominance.
This is a really fun situation to be in. It reminds me of a Volibear lane to begin with, going up against Yuumi Lucian. They do have a lot of mobility, but if you just stick on them, especially with the Sejuani stacks up, yes, great movement there from LokeN. Start trading back a little bit more now.
Yeah, really good trade from the way back. Ben is able to poke him out as well, and see us quite even down this bottom line.
That boy had to suck in his gut. If he got stunned in that situation, certainly that's going for an all-in. He didn't have flash either, so a pretty dangerous position for the Lucian. Okay, he's
Doinb's
already
coming.
here.
Yeah, LokeN wanted to back. He has flash as well. He takes it over the wall. He misses. The Sejuani follows him. Ben's in a lot of trouble. The Permafrost there. Damage will it come through. Doinb under turret. Needs the auto. He's still going. He's still going. He finds it. I call that worse as your first blood for the jungle.
You got the cat. Mission accomplished. We're heading back home.
What a great way to start Doinb's jungle career.
That is a loosely used word, career.
Yeah.
He's never going back again.
We go into playoffs and suddenly like, Doinb, you know what, you're swapping. First blood for the Skarner. EA already had a CS lead, now he has first blood. He's picked up double ruby crystals.
I would like to imagine that in all chat, it's just being overused at this stage.
I imagine
That
so.
Tain is smack talking Knight. Hey, remember those Young Miracles days? I blame you. You know? Not being able to ever make it into the LPL. We're both here, that's cool.
That's too real though. Oh, Crisp. Hello, Knight. Let's go. Arctic Assault now. Knight has flash available. Trouble Bubble's going to go down and Tain is following up. Doinb a little bit slow to the play. XX there for moral support.
Tain usually doesn't receive those ganks.
No. No, he does not. Favors being traded across the map. There's back to the bottom lane here for Chris. Roaming as Chris does. It doesn't change whoever the mid laner is. And he's like, oh, Chris, very active in this early game.
Vision down here is very helpful for top esports, actually. It's going to be able to nail down anyone that's making the move. Let's just say, as a great example, if Knight ends up using the shove that he has here to go down bot lane. There we go.
Yeah, finally reciprocated.
Finally.
Tain does it right.
He has earned your respect now.
Okay.
But yeah, top esports have, you know, let's just say if Knight ends up roaming to the bot side of the map, a lot of vision is there for LWX. I would actually say for Knight to be able to make that dive pretty easily. Okay. So it makes it harder for Doinb to go back down bot side. But he's actually
oh no! Needs smite. Does he have smite? No! XX got it. Doinb needs to run, but Predator he uses mid-channel as it's going to go on cooldown. The Impales there. GimGoon coming on in. He ults a Trundle. That was a great movement with the Troll Bubble down onto Doinb. You know he's dead. And now top esports have to get away from the Mordekaiser as the world ender there from Tain. They even flank as well. They flashed on top. And FPX somehow winning the 2v2. The flash away from Knight, although wasn't really his. It's a trade again.
Yeah, you have yourself the Swole Bros of Tain and GimGoon, buddy. Look at this.
Dodge from the Aurelia. Crisp under turret takes full turret aggro as he's going to commit. LWX flashes over the wall. He's out.
Just a little bit more time and he would have been able to deal with the Cat 2. But these plays are coming in thick and very quickly.
Having heart palpitations after that top lane play. Doinb gets hit pretty hard in that. And Knight picks up his first kill. So the Zoe is now feeling pretty good with a smite in hand.
That was fun to just watch. You know, you're right. Doinb wasn't able to pick up the red buff. Ends up clawing XX over, and then he gets thrown into the Shadow Realm. He's like, wait a minute. I need you. I'm going to die without you. Don't go to the other side alone.
At least it got GimGoon a kill. He'll say it's worth. Doinb, the whole part of that play was him picking up red buff on the top side of the map. XX walks in without smite and autos for it. So it's a nice, not messy start, but very proactive start here from top and FPX. As that lands somehow. Arctic Assault launch onto LokeN. LWX has 2 kills as an 80 carry Aurelia.
Double thumbs up. That hitbox was thick.
Somehow that hit. I mean, great Sejuani ult here from Chris.
He got hit by the tip of the glacier. Only need the tip to hit, and he got him.
Oh, but he's getting turret plating as well. I mean, bottom lane now a very real issue for top esports.
Welcome to the life of an 80 carry at this stage, honestly. You can be replaced just like that.
Yeah. Trinity Force going to be done as he backs as well. Double bit of turret plating going over to LWX. And watch those inventories. Is he close? Does he have it? Oh, he does not. Wait, sitting on the edge. And okay. So simply the third component. 333 gold away is the Aurelia, but that'll be a very early Trinity Force.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, with how much control now is in the bot side of the map, I would expect FPX to be focusing a little bit more heavily on the dragon. They can look for another skirmish down spot side. That's fine. I think they need a control ward in the tri-bush to make it happen. Funny enough, it's actually a great situation for FPX with how hard it is for LokeN and Ben to deal with these two.
Being able to get the wave pushed in finally, as the Trundle was down here as well, but going to be spotted out on the ward. Not the only lane that's going well here for FPX, with topside really pushing 369 into a corner. It's almost a Leandri's first on GimGoon on the Mordekaiser.
All right.
Doinb active, hyperactive it seems. Rift Herald's been started.
No wards here too, and GimGoon and Tain have had constant shoves here. Oh, unless this happens.
Yeah, that will happen. Half health on 10. Now,
Question marks being pinged out by Top Esports, so they're aware that this is a possibility. They just won't be able to do anything about it.
Doinb in the right place at the right time though, so he's already done enough damage to it. Trundle won't be nearby. Rift Herald's going to screech across Summoner's Rift, and he's going top.
All right. Hey, at least we know if Doinb gets old enough, he can always just turn himself into a jungler, much like the likes of Score.
Yeah. With age comes experience, they say. Rift Herald up here. Good pull in here on the 369 into the Sanctuine pool he'll find himself.
So close. Of course, that pool coming through just in time almost got pulled in by the Skarner there. So really well played by Doinb, being able to hand a lot of that gold over to GimGoon.
And he sets it up for GimGoon to get that turret on the next wave. 369 at half health, but sticking around. Might have to use a Hema Plague to really survive out the trades. As Doinb's still there, remember. He's still ready to go back in the top side with Flash and ult available. And I've just noticed, LWX finally has that Trinity Force, by the way, so that's an 11-minute Trinity Force.
Nice.
Plus, FPX have a 2.5k gold lead with, as you mentioned before, that Mountain Dragon being very accessible, but I said he was going to come up. I didn't know it would be this quick.
No one's here to help him. You can see Zoe, at least maybe to take a kill on the back half.
Good impale.
Oh!
Wrath comes in. There's a dodge with the Hema Plague finally coming down as well. Doinb will get healed up, but only healing 369. Good flash out of the Scorpion as well as Top Esports respond quickly. GimGoon has taken the long way in this lane. He doesn't have boots, so he's got to take in the 1v1 as Knight doesn't have anywhere to portal jump into the Death Realm. He's got a bit of damage down. The Ignite's there as well. GimGoon getting low. He's going to come out. He flashes, but not in time as FPX have teleported up there to take the play. Vanguard Z, reset for LWX. He's on a mission. It's a 3-0 Trinity Force Aurelia, who Top Esports do not want to fight.
Nice trade back, but FPX had to use teleports to make that play happen. Even better from 369 in a position in which he was getting dove. Of course, had Pool and Crimson Rush to keep himself alive. Of course, being able to use his ultimate to add in a little bit more sustain there. But Top Esports sent Knight and XX topside to make magic happen. At least they were able to get TPs, but action's not over yet.
Moving to the bottom lane, Doinb's returned and in action to find something happening. And I was just thinking to myself, when all the chaos was in the middle, that maybe FPX have been watching G2 recently. Much like the XL game last night where everything was just thrown in the air, FPX thought, let's just try something.
Well, it reminds me of Rogue Warriors in 2018 when they had SMLZ and Doinb at that time, and they were secured in their spot in the playoffs. That's what they ended up doing. I mean, they picked Kai'Sa at that time when she first came out as a very clunky champion everyone thought was bad.
Yep.
They played what was a pretty troll composition, and they did it because they wanted to try something out, prepare well for, you know, playoffs. But also, they just didn't want to show strategy.
Yep. Also,
even looking towards last split, JD decided to bench their best player, or at least their captain in Lu Mao, bringing in Tain. They lost both of those games to WE. A lot of it because Coach Rome didn't want to show anything for the last day, especially up against the future opponents. So both these teams have incentives to not show their best, have a little fun at the side, and we're seeing a little bit of that, especially from FPX with the Sejuani support and Doinb jungle.
I mean, when are you also ever going to see LWX on an Aurelia in the bottom lane? Actually, to be fair, that's probably the most realistic of any of the scenarios here. But it's still been a great turnout as he picked up a tier match. Now, items are important in this game because LWX is so accelerated. And LokeN and Ben are just having a really rough time.
Yeah, it's changed the trajectory of the lane. You know, Ben and LokeN had shove for the majority of this game, but it's certainly not possible anymore. In a longer lane too would have been awful for LokeN and Ben, so just based off the all-in threat, they gotta back away. So now bot lane is pressure for LWX and Crisp. Top lane has pressure for GimGoon for some time now. There's a lot of lanes for Doinb to work around.
Which one's he going to go to next? Because GimGoon has a full shove. Mid lane's pretty back and forth. And bottom lane turret's still there at 15 minutes in the game.
For me, you just keep going bottom lane. Top lane turret is gone. That's a big plus. XX is here for a reason. Always concerned for Doinb trying to help out a lane. And really all it comes down to is you don't even necessarily need the flash for Skarner. Just being able to get blue smite, ultimate, work off of either the Sejuani ulti. They're going to go in for a fight themselves.
Final chapter, Vanguard then choose there as well. Support's going to drop down as FPX find the first kill, but they lose the Federelia. Culling at point blank range just hurts the Hippo. And FPX now make the transition to go topside instead.
Let's see if they can get the kill.
Impale, there's going to be GimGoon with the Death Grasp. The lock into the Sanguine pulls. He can't find the cleaver down. FPX can't trade away.
Too hard to kill. He's going to try for something mid lane, but big win for top esports bot side. May even be able to take the turret down as well.
So we're able to push up mid, and Knight's on the roam as well. Doinb trying to take the jungle as a response. Now, a lot of you, as this turret's going down, will be saying, why haven't we seen more of Doinb? What is Doinb doing? This Scorpion has been farming for a very long time. He's 30 CS over XX. And he's making a bit of a statement.
I mean, he's also been making plays in lanes, setting up topside more often than not. It just hasn't been panning out. 2 opportunities that he's been throwing at the Vladimir. Vladimir has been able to kind of get past that easily. So, I mean, 369 is sitting pretty comfortable. A lot of the turret plating is going over to FPX for certain, yeah. But the issue is never about the Vladimir's early game.
Yep.
It's about how much he can stack up later on in the game, being as strong as ever. He's farming just fine. So that's my concern here, is that Vladimir is fairly untouched here. He's now getting to this next item.
The kill on the back that looks like a potential spellbinder's in the making here is, I've just noticed Doinb has decided on Shirelia's Reverie as a second item for Skarner, but
all right,
first we'll have a look at this.
So as you can see, sets up with Yuumi ultimate, even getting the flash off there, really well done. While the cat ends up dying, but still being able to net those 2 kills. But a mid lane dive coming through.
Let's go FPX. They decided time for Knight to die, and Ben and XX caught in the middle. They jump on in. The Aatrox gets a reset, and FPX just aren't dying here. Underneath turret, everyone commits, and it works out fine.
What was the setup? How did that happen? That turned the game on a dime.
Yeah.
And now it all ends with top esports in a major deficit because of 2 lost turrets, a major lost team fight. All right, okay, we'll find out soon.
We need to go back.
We need to go back to the past. This is when YouTube viewers come out strong. Actually, no, they lose everything too because we were in a bit of a replay. I'm lying to you.
They can. Oh, that's true. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I tried
Point
to
of view streamer. Point of view streamers.
They
though,
come out strong.
They're the ones with the big
That 10
brains.
RMB pays out.
Yeah, just so you guys know, very, very difficult for English audiences out there to being able to see that POV stream because it's not as simple as going on to Huya and Douyu and just locking it in and watching it. You do need to use a Chinese application like a WeChat or anything to pay for those 10 RMB. It's very cheap, but you just need to have that ready for yourself. So that's the problem. We still didn't get to see the setup for how FPX got onto the turret.
They were just mid.
They were just there. So glad that the replay was helpful.
You take one thing away from that if you're top esports, and even though you said the plays turned on a dime, the game's turned on a dime, I agree, but the Vladimir got a solo kill over the Aurelia, and this is the issue that the almost Rabadon's death cap, 369, is just going to be carrying this mid to late game very wholehandedly.
Yeah, I mean, top esports has a great comp to come back with. Zoe Sleepy Trouble Bubble into full versus there. The Vladimir flank, as you've already mentioned, is certainly a big point to deal with. So if we're looking at top esports, they can definitely come back pretty easily. They're not even that far behind. But this is also a pretty deep snowball composition from FPX. So we'll have to see if FPX can play as disciplined as they can. I feel like that's not the right word for FPX at this stage of the split.
So can we come back? This is Tain is walking around. He's going to be walking over his vision. He won't go blindly into that Knight. Shirelia's Reverie on the Skarner. I like this item choice, but it does feel like the technology of Doinb is extending out.
Give him some damage.
Yeah.
Screw that Righteous Glory. That's only for the real champions.
The Rise.
Well, yeah, Rise is, you know, you get that one on there. Or the big brain one like the Cassidon.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Rise, what am I even saying?
Yeah.
Cassidon's all that matters. I'm curious about the third item, because that could be something like a Frozen Heart. Iceborne?
Are you looking at one? Yeah, I'd say.
Yep.
Well, we're looking towards. Ardent Sensor should be coming along the lines there, but that's still a pretty hefty AP in that composition, which is why I'm a little surprised that we're going to be seeing some armor coming through from Doinb. But yeah, it would have to be, I'll say, probably Righteous Glory. Probably Righteous Glory.
The Righteous Shirelia's Skarner with
Who am I
Predator.
kidding, right? Oh no.
Oh, that's going to be a fast score.
Okay, well.
We'll wait for that one.
This is the game.
This is definitely a game. And I know last night's segment over on the LEC where Frostman's talking about this is the game, you know, this is the game you tune into the LPL, you watch FPX and top esports. You're not disappointed.
Yeah. So when you look at this game initially, you want to see the hype of the top two teams in the LPL playing at their best, pride on the line like that third place match. Or you get this, where nothing's on the line and you don't want to show any of your cards.
Sure.
And you have an already fun team like FPX playing an even funner composition.
Especially when FPX only need that one series win, as we talked about, to get in the grand final. And I know we'll have a larger discussion about circuit points, but FPX are looking pretty good already set up as we head into playoffs.
He knows he's in that bush.
Yeah, he does.
Bring in the boys. Let's go.
Okay, Chris first, though. Oh, Tain charges. Yuumi and Trundle. Not as good as Olaf.
Yeah, they didn't have more members there, so they're just going to have to piece out of this situation. But now Doinb's coming in for a full clear. So now the Baron play is online. GimGoon is on the bot side of the map with Teleport. Going to be able to fully push this one out. I'm surprised that Vladimir is not looking for a base here. He's willing to have a wave cleared on the turret.
Oh no. 369 coming in red hot with even playing. Look at Tain's positioning though. Finds his aspect in the fight as 369 in the middle, but even in the second Paul, can he get the E? Doesn't spread the blood. And Culling to come through. Tags GimGoon, but into the Death Realm. He will take XXs. This Mordekaiser is chunky, and FPX head forward, low health bars. Top Esports can still find this fight. Trundle will eventually go down, and GimGoon not going to be sacrificed. FPX bring the cavalry in, and they're not letting anyone go down. 5 for none, somehow after that cataclysmic fight.
They stuck around waiting for the flank from GimGoon. GimGoon was giving them hot updates saying, guys, I've got XX and his stats. Coming close will take this fight. Well done from FPX. They're about to take down top esports. Trolling with a Doinb Skarner comp.
This is the FPX you look towards, and back to that point, they're still pretty damn good. 10k gold lead in this first game at 23 minutes.
The worst thing to lose to is tactical troll.
Yes.
Because when you look at the composition, you say this is actually very viable. Aurelia and Sejuani, while fun on paper, is actually something very difficult to deal with for a Lucian Yuumi. And so at the end of the day, you look at this and say, no, we actually lost to what is a pretty damn good comp. But then the crowds jeer at you and say, actually, you lost to them trolling.
Yeah, you did. A now Righteous Glory Skarner as well. So while you're talking about tactical trolling, I'm going to go through the item choices and look how fast he is. That was literally just Shirelia's and Predator, I believe.
This is when Skarner should be having the Naruto run.
He's so fast.
Send his pincers on back because that guy should be on an anime by now.
Righteous Glory is still available, so we're going to get one more speed boost from Doinb, who is very close to winning his first jungle game.
Just don't mess it up. We need this win.
LWX, by the way, wits end on the Aurelia third, so he's going all damage all the time.
It's Top Esports Appreciation Day just for everybody out there. So only appreciate Top Esports, not FPX.
Yep. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be very difficult after this first game. Let's have a look. And this was still a really good fight.
They actually juggled aggro really well in this fight. So they have a lot of bruisers that can come through. Really good start from Tain to begin with. And then my mind goes towards, you know, GimGoon, who initially started this fight. At this point, they have to run. Oh, we get the full-on POV view of him smacking XX.
Where are you going to go?
Now, of course, his team have a good view, or at least he can communicate well, that he is pretty healthy coming out of this fight. Lucian has to back away, and he still gets that last bonk at the end of the fight.
Exit kill as we returned alive and Doinb on the same health bar he was then. So, top esports can't get a break, and that was cool to see the POV from GimGoon, who's now 5-1-5.
Just at a cheap cost of 10 RMB out there.
Yeah. That's okay for us.
Actually, while you talk, let me actually do a conversion of what 10 RMB is.
Okay, I'll tell you right now.
Okay, what is it?
10 RMB, for all the Australian viewers out there, first of all,
1.4 USD.
it's nothing. It's $2 Australian.
Imagine paying point of view for $1, by the way. For the full split.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Team just died when we talking.
How is that a business? How is that even possible?
You're right. It's not much. Maybe it's a starting off. Is that for the month? Do you know? Do you know the
I've
details?
paid for it. I have it for a while. So.
For a while.
Yeah.
Is it literally the split?
Yeah.
There. You know,
I'm not. Don't quote me on it, but I definitely have had it for a very long time.
There's a lot of people that watch League of Legends here if they all have ProView.
Just remember, I would personally prefer ProView because you get the choice to choose between all 10 players.
Sure.
They choose for you. They choose that one player. A lot of the times they make the right choice. You got Uzi and you're like, perfect, nice.
But this game, you're looking at GimGoon, which actually has turned out pretty good as Doinb is going to find the Impale. FPX are fighting again, and Impale's going to come down, but look into the back line. The Vanguard's edge sends LPX a thunder as the culling comes through, and GimGoon still wants to chase up. Knight is in the Death Realm, and he's going to be able to portal jump for now, but FPX are still taking this fight as they get pulled back in. And top below, Tain is ready to go. As Doinb's taking the turret, he'll go golden as there's been so much blood. But Tain and Doinb are still alive.
Asking them to surrender and waving that white flag. It's pretty iconic that it's Tain and Doinb, the members who are last up and alive in this one. At least we know who the possible sub could be in the mid lane with how well Tian's been playing. Great dive into the back line. Knight really couldn't deal with it. At least being able to get that last end kill, Sleepy Trouble Bubble being able to land on GimGoon was a job well done, but this is too large of a snowball. Now a 10k gold lead for FPX.
Been like that for a while, Raz. The FPX dominance here in game one just keeps on continuing it. And although Top found something in that last fight, it really wasn't enough. And that is the 3-item Aatrox on Tain, who, let's remember, Tain has played a lot of Aatrox before. He actually played it in the jungle earlier in the split. Yep. And towards the end of last spring as well.
That's why he's comfortable in playing it in team fights. That's why he's actually been one of the major reasons why they've been winning fights. This fight that was in this very area last that we saw was because Tain able to play with the Fog of War, starting it all off, and of course in that last fight just being able to dive straight through. Constant sustain and coming through with his empowered ultimate. Really well done from him. I want to see what LokeN has been actually able to accomplish throughout in the last fight, because positioning has been very hard for him. Lucian is the right champion to play versus all these bruisers that are trying to dive into the back line. But even then, hasn't been able to keep himself up and safe. So, okay.
Oh no, he almost walked into that one, but FPX, the fight's going to start off, but Top Esports are here while Tain comes in with a massive flank. Monstrous as Chris looks to burn down, but still lives on. 369, the core of this fight, but even he will drop as LWX hits his strides again. Top Esports are walking into despair as look at this, XX in the Death Realm. They come out, and FPX have done it again.
Yeah, they're definitely going to end the game off that one. For any one of you guys that were watching the Lucian in that last fight, he certainly didn't see the Aatrox coming.
No, he did not.
Ducked over the wall and was still pulled back because of the Aatrox pull. Feels bad, man, but FPX nails this first victory.
What a great game one. Doinb jumps in the jungle, Tain in lane, and FPX throw everything in the air to get us a game one victory.
We need another one of those games. FPX, I would say, okay, I'm going to ask you, who's MVP?
Doinb.
Hell yeah!
Okay, I got it right. Thank you
Super
so much.
fast Doinb. We need a new nickname, is what we need.
I love how throughout that whole game. GimGoon was the only one who was really standard, you could say. The only one who was just doing his normal thing. And otherwise, I'd probably give it to him.
And this is the most, I'll repeat it, this is the most frustrating type of play to go up against.
Yeah.
The tactical troll that is only built for your fan base to hate you know, your team. That everyone's saying, how did you lose to a trolling comp? It's like, well, yeah, Doinb's playing jungle, but he was playing Skarner, and Tain was playing a jungle that he's played consistently as a mid laner. And then they had a really good bot lane bruiser comp to deal with LokeN and Ben. I will give FPX the benefit of saying, while they were having fun, it wasn't a tough composition to play at all.
And it wasn't like watching G2 and XL, where at the end of the day, you're like, this is just stupid. You look at this and you say, that was a lot of fun, but that was actually some really good team fights.
Throwing in some shade there. I need to see that game, actually.
It was not great. There was a lot of messiness, and everyone was like, well, it doesn't matter anymore. This one was like, doesn't matter anymore, but we're still FPX. Top esports.
What the hell?
We're still FPX.
You calm down.
It's still important.
That,
Pride.
I will say that, you know, we saw what made FPX such a strong team this split throughout. That it was just about Tain and Doinb having that firm control through mid. How is the Zoe really going to be able to thrive in fights and skirmishes if, you know, if she's constantly being bullied by the multiple bruises in her lane? And then the one big play that we actually missed out on because of their initial replay was the first group up by FPX. They had the position around mid. I would expect that they had, you know, side lanes dropped out, grouped up as a unit, had that first tower being taken down, as well as being able to get multiple kills. Yeah, I mean, like, they made the call to defend, and apparently it wasn't the right call. We can't look back and say, you know, decide for them, but they died. So I'll just say, based off that alone, feels weird. I definitely want to see the next game and see what FPX has in their mind.
Yeah, what happens from here? Like, do the roles change? Do they go back to normal and just finish off
Hell
the series? No.
We need a game 3. More stage time. Oh, see, that's what the coach is saying right now.
They're like, you know, they're going to get their money's worth of viewers. They paid for tickets for this.
They're not thinking about the business, but certainly the front office is saying that.
They should.
The front office is saying, get that third game.
Think about the business.
Think about your sponsors. 3 games of that sponsor being on front of a camera. Or the players saying more stage time, you know, more strategies, especially the real serious strategy is the double bruiser. I don't think there really is going to be on the table, but certainly the Yasuo that you've been seeing. G2's been playing a little bit as well. So fun times are being had, and a lot of time going up in semis as well, because they have a lot of time to burn.
That's right. They're going to have to wait just that little bit extra, but we don't, because we get this matchup again. Coming right up after this, Game 2. We'll see what happens there.